few more seconds and we'll get started. Welcome back, everyone. So I'd love to get started with you all and see if you have any questions about any of the previous days or anything like that. Welcome. I see a few new people in here as well. And he's back. Okay. No questions. Well, we can go ahead and get started. But before we do, can I just get a test? Someone say hello to make sure I can hear everyone.
Hello.
All right. I can hear you well. Glad to have you back. So let's get started in day 3. And just recap a little bit of what we talked about before. In day 1, we talked about finding our customer persona, knowing that if we are able to get the particular person who we want to serve, and we know everything about them, it's easy for us to go ahead and target and continue to get that same type of customer. Next, we talked about having a consistent brand across all of our platforms. And it says you don't have a brand if no one is willing to pay a premium for it. And that's the goal here, is to make sure that we are providing the service to our ideal customer, everything that they want, so that they would have no problem paying what we deserve for what we do. Next, we talk about our service offerings and what we provide, making sure that if we need to, we're adding any additions. And besides additions or any kind of add-ons that we think that will set us apart, one, and that we think our customer wants as well. We also talked about creating an undeniable offer, something that would make our clients have to say yes and make it hard for them to say no. Yesterday, we talked about our buyer's journey, which creates consistency across every service that we do. It allows for growth and leaves room for steady improvement. And the last thing that we did yesterday to end the day was to create a content strategy. And that was done on page 17 and 18. And pretty much we figured out, where our audience is looking for content and how can we make macro content. And those are big things as far as blog posts, YouTube videos, doing webinars, events, and how can we use those larger engagements to make smaller content like Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, tweets, as well as like TikToks and things like that. So we're getting to the tip top of the pyramid here, and we just went over everything that we discussed. So today we will be tackling a little bit of goal setting, as well as planning and putting everything on our calendar. And if you don't already have everything, the resources that you need, feel free to join our Discord and find the workbook, as well as any other materials that we may use, including the vibe board. So let's talk a little bit about building content. Yesterday, Mr. Hayes had told us that, I believe it was Mr. Hayes, he was saying that, he is a little bit uncomfortable with showing his personality online or putting himself out there like that. But we talked about how we believe that content and social media is changing people's lives. And it's an important initiative to put yourself out there, because people are really drawn to stories, and they're drawn to personalities, and people just being themselves. And one thing that I could say is just finding where your interests are, your hobbies, and turn that into content as well. And that doesn't matter what you do, whether that be you really enjoy basketball or you really enjoy collecting action figures. I guarantee you that there is someone out there that enjoys doing the same thing, but then you can also relate it back to your business and your service offerings as well. So I want to talk to you about a content cycle, a 90-day content cycle. All right. So here's a way where you can create 48 pieces of content per week, and then 228 posts in a month. So the idea here is, obviously you have to be comfortable with doing this, but this is a great strategy to either premiere any new products that you may have, or just get people to know, like, and trust you. I'm gonna just remove my head here for a second, just so you can see. So we have 2 lives a week. That's just live streams. It doesn't have to be super long, where you are able to answer questions and build rapport with those who are supporting you online. We have 2 reels and shorts per week, and those are quick short videos that are meant to educate, entertain, and build authority. If someone believes that you have authority in a space, that you are expert in this area, then they have no reason but to trust you and what you have to offer. And then 2 stories a day. Stories are pretty much the easy part. We want to remain human while doing this, and we also want to build a connection. If I'm going to the coffee store, if I'm going to Starbucks, we're gonna post that Starbucks cup. It makes us human. If we're going to the doctor, if we're driving, those are just some simple stories that make sure that you remain a person, even though all of your other content is kind of surrounded around your business and your other interests, right? So with 2 stories a day, that equals out to 60 stories a month. And that's a lot of good content there, where you can keep using it and reusing it. For reels and shorts, that equates to about 8 videos a month, which is pretty good as well. And then last, we have 2 lives a week, and that may be intimidating, but I don't want you all to be disencouraged to do that, because if you set it up for a particular time, if you're always meeting on these certain days, then your audience will continue to grow. If they know they're going to meet you on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live, or on LinkedIn Live, your audience will for sure grow. All right. So let's talk about the types of content that people like and want to see. All right. So right here we have educational, entertaining, enlightening, and empowering. So I do want to ask, how often are you guys watching enlightening or empowering videos?
Not as much as entertaining.
Exactly. And I appreciate that feedback, because a lot of people think that, of course people want to see successes, but a lot of times if you're doing enlightening and empowering videos often, people will start to disengage with you. So I would like for you all to keep your content at these 2 levels, educational and entertaining, just to make sure that we are continuing to provide value. And truth be told, not a lot of people are positive or are looking to hear enlightening and empowering things all the time. So I just want to make note of that and kind of emphasize that you want to stay educational and you want to stay entertaining. People want to be entertained. People go on social media to laugh. So we must make sure that we're continuing to make that of importance to us. So the reason why we're creating content is to create a connection with our audience and with our potential customers. We want them to know us, we want them to like us, and we want them to trust us. And the way that we know that they are getting to know, like, and trust us is the conversations that they pull into afterwards, whether that be sending you a DM, commenting on your post, scheduling a call with you, or even doing like Zoom calls, after you have that call to action on your videos or on your posts. I would always recommend having a call to action that's a little side note, whether that be, like this post, share this post, DM me this particular word to talk about, blah, blah, blah. Always have a call to action that can show you that that person is engaged with you and ready to learn more about what you have to offer. At the end of the day, I always say know, like, and trust, and then trust equals transactions, all right? Alrighty. And then let's talk briefly about ads. I'm not gonna play any videos because videos don't play back well at all on Zoom. We tried to do some tests earlier, but let's talk about it. Ad strategies. Here is my quick video ad framework. You want to have an ear or eye-catching hook. So that may mean, yelling out in the beginning. One of our ads, we counted down 3, 2, 1, or even an eye-catching hook. Maybe that be someone jumping in front of the frame or moving really fast to get your attention so that you don't scroll away or you don't click skip ad on YouTube. The next thing we want to have in our video ads is product benefits. What kind of benefits does your product or service give to the customer? And we want to be creative with these particular types of benefits. We want to talk about the end goal. So for Yomi here, he's a music producer. He does DJing at events and parties. I would say that the benefit is throwing a memorable wedding that your family and friends won't forget. Making sure that your family stays on the dance floor. Stopping your family from sitting down at tables majority of the night. You have to talk about those outcomes and those really big benefits that your ideal customer is thinking about when booking or when searching for the particular product that you have to offer. So next, we want to have some product demonstrations. And even if you don't want to particularly show like what you're doing, just show people enjoying it. Show the life of the party, especially if you're in Yomi's case. But product demonstrations, they don't have to be so direct, but just show the ambiance of having that good time or people using the product or the service. We also want to identify the problem or the pain point, and that's a little bit more of what I spoke on before with the benefits, and some other pain points that you can point out, like you're reliable, you will show up on time. Those are some great things to identify as well. And then lastly, you want to have some type of social proof if possible, or some validation, whether that be any types of testimonials or having clients speak on screen, or Northwestern Mutual has a lot of commercials where they have families who has benefited from their life insurance or their investment products. And then lastly, we have a call to action. What do you want them to do next? Do you want them to call? Do you want them to book with the discount code? What do you want them to do? And these are a lot of things here, and you don't have to have them all in your ads, but just making sure that you are pinpointing a few of these things that will ensure a successful video ad. So I do want to talk about the hooks. Here are some audio hooks that you can use to call out to your specific audience. You can ask questions that they understand. So that question could be, do you need any upcoming graphics for 2024? Are you looking for a consistent graphic designer? Or when you're calling that stuff out, that just sparks people's attention. Or have you ever been to a wedding where everyone is just sitting down? All right, You want to ask the question that they understand that will spark their interest to continue to watch the rest of the video. So B, we have a direct call out. And a lot of people do this when they're targeting specific locations and areas with their ads. So let's say we're a dealership in Milwaukee, or let's say we're a dealership in Milwaukee. Hey Milwaukee, do you need a new car? Asking and saying those things will spark their attention. Or you can say, you recently just got engaged. That calls out to a specific type of person, and that's just a good thing to do. And then you call out a service or offer. Do you want $50 off on this or that, right? And those are a few audio hooks. So I want to ask if you all could think of any audio hooks that you can use for an ad that you may have or use in the future. Yeah.
I guess potentially, yeah, since I do like dance lessons as well, is like, have you been looking for like a new something like, are you looking for a New Year's resolution to learn how to dance or something like that?
Nice. I like that. That's a good one.
Okay. People
Especially
are always looking for something.
Oh, what'd you say?
Like people are always looking for something new to do around the New Year's.
Absolutely. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people, even after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, people are out and about shopping for the most part, but it's always something going on, and I think people really are enjoying spending more time with the people rather than, COVID times. I don't know. I was stuck in COVID where everyone is just like, I'm going to stay home.
Right.
But that's an excellent idea. Yeah, those are great audio hooks. Okay, and then we also have visual hooks. And I'll talk briefly about that. Sliding in direction, hand blocking the camera, and then scrolling up and down, pinching in and out, doing something crazy, fast transitions on the screen in the first 3 seconds. You only have 3 seconds to catch someone's attention. So if you can do a visual and an audio hook or anything to keep people on that video ad, you're good to go. All right. So we have an ad method or an ad strategy for businesses who have the bandwidth, as well as who are looking to do more than one ad, and just to test it out, right? So for this type of ad strategy, you will create 6 different types of hooks, a few different call outs, a few different questions, and you will have 3 core areas. So the core is showing the benefits, what the product is, and what are you offering. And then the close, that's the call to action and what you want them to do next. So if you have 6 different hooks, 3 different cores, and 3 different closes, you can A/B test that within your ad manager and see which one works best, and then go for the winning ad. With this method, you are able to create 54 pieces of ads. And with that being said, just take your time. All this is editing. So the hook, core, and the close, I would suggest wearing the same shirt, but you can go back and record that any time that you need to. So let's say you always have a black shirt or your uniform shirt or a button-up shirt and a hat. You can have that same thing going from now to 6 months from now to a year from now, and still be able to use all of these pieces to push together to create a good ad for you. And I also can say too that this all doesn't have to be done at once. So I don't want that to discourage you from creating that certain type of content. And with this ad method, all it is editing. If you have an editing team, or if you're editing yourself, it's just copying and pasting that hook, that core, and that close together, and that should give you some good results. We talked about this. This is 54 different pieces of content or pieces of ads that you are able to use. Now let's talk about a few platforms where you are able to go ahead and place ads on. Facebook, a lot of people know about Facebook. They have some for the desktop as well as in the feed and over videos. So you have 3 options there. Instagram is pretty much the same. You have story ads as well as feed ads. YouTube and Google, they're one and the same. Google, you can have search engine ads, as well as YouTube, you can have video ads. On Google, they have some videos there as well where you can place ads as well. And then we also have TikTok. TikTok is an emerging platform, and their ads are not that expensive right now. But it is the fact that you have to capture someone's attention in 3 seconds, because it's really easy for someone to scroll on TikTok. And a lot of people are just used to scrolling. So you have to be really targeted and really have a really good ad for TikTok. And then lastly, Pinterest. A lot of people are overlooking Pinterest, but a lot of women use Pinterest to search. They search for holiday decorations there. They search for outfit ideas. They search for visual things. So if you have a visual product or something that you have to see and then click, I would suggest using Pinterest. And you don't even have to run an ad there. I would just post your physical product in a nice setting and post that there, because that's all about aesthetics and photos. So that's a great place to think about as well. Do any of y'all have questions about creating ads for you in your business? We can think of a couple of ideas while we're here if we need to. No?
No.
Okay. All right. All right, let's move forward. All right. So I do have a workbook that I want to give to everyone who participated in this year's boot camp. This digital marketing essentials will help you deeper dive into your email marketing, creating subject lines, as well as discovering some of the ways some of your hobbies and interests can help you create content. It talks about segmenting and just how the digital age has changed. So this is our digital marketing essentials ebook. I will be posting this in the Discord, but it will only be there for, let's say I'll keep it up 5 days. I just really want it to be for those who participated. So I'm going to add that in there as well. And it goes deeper into the content that you will be creating. All right. So let's talk about automation before we get into planning, goal setting and planning. And then we're going to dive right into our calendars. So automation, you want to go on autopilot with your business. If a computer can do anything that you're doing right now, I would suggest letting them take care of it and setting it up one time so that you don't have to spend a lot of time doing something that you've done in the past. So one example that I just thought of on the top of my head that I don't have on my slides would be forms, and having forms to gather information that you need to qualify a customer, and whether that be, and I talked about this with Mr. Hayes before, with graphic design clients, if they're looking for a logo, I would just have a form for them, having them, if they have a brand guideline, you can attach your brand guideline. You can ask them what colors would they like to use. Do they have any inspiration? What is their idea for the logo? Ask them all the qualifying questions that you need so that you can go and brainstorm and formulate something for your client, rather than having to go back and forth through text. But even if you did not want to have a form, I would also even suggest doing Zoom meetings so you can ask all those things, get a good feel for the person in a shorter time frame, maybe in about 15 minutes, rather than maybe texting someone for 2 or 3 days. So that's one example of an automation, getting that form in, cutting that communication time down. And our next example is the standard operating procedures. And this is something that you create first. All of these things are something that you pretty much you do in the initial process, but then you let either the software or your team members take it from there. So a standard operating procedures is pretty much just the way that you do something every single time. And if you have an SOP for setting up an event, and you can give that to any of your team members and they can follow that same rubric or that same guideline for you. So the next way to put some things on autopilot is by having a customer relationship manager. And the things that a CRM has for you is a client database. So it will hold all of your clients' data, the phone numbers, their emails, even client notes. And then you can even segment your customers into groups. CRMs usually handles email marketing, as well as SMS and text message notifications, internal and external. So if someone were to fill out a form, you can set your CRM up to notify you as an owner or a team member of yours that someone has just filled the form, so you should please reach out to them. That's an internal SMS notification. But you can also do external SMS notifications when you have deals, discounts, or events that you just want to keep top of mind for people. And then last, we also have customer pipeline. It just keeps track of your clients and what stage they are in the buying process. So if you have a larger pipeline where you have, is an interest, filled out the form, the next stage of the pipeline would be a discovery meeting, and then maybe the next stage of the pipeline would be creating a proposal, accepted contract, then deposit made, then service produced, and then follow up. You can move those clients from every stage of your pipeline so that you can keep track. Because a lot of times, we're having a sheet of paper where we list out, these people are interested, I know I need to follow up with them. But if you have a customer pipeline, you're able to see that all in one place and continue to move them forward and knowing what next steps they need to take. The CRM that Intellect Media Co. provides also includes post scheduling. And post scheduling is something, a little bit of automation. If you can create your content ahead of time on a Monday and schedule it out for the whole week with a couple of different outfits or a couple of different hats, that's beneficial because that also saves you time from recording and doing it later, as well as having to manually go in and try to post it yourself. So I do want to touch a little bit on the email marketing. So email marketing, it helps you stay top of mind. And a couple different ways where you can do that is by sending weekly newsletters, updates, sharing events, as well as case studies and stories. I know for many people, they don't want to spam their audience or send them too many things. But if you are able to segment your audience on and knowing who is interested in what, you can still send out, I would say, a bi-weekly newsletter without anyone being upset or unsubscribing. So I have you here. I believe I do want to show you our CRM really quick. All right. And another thing that I didn't get to mention was workflows and automations when it comes to anyone booking or you having a new inquiry online. All right. So this is probably not the best example, but this is a text message automation. It's pretty long, but after someone inquires about our service, we send out a text message right away asking if we can answer any questions for you before our team members reach out to you. If they ask how much is the price, we'll send over the rates. If they ask do you have a travel fee or anything pertaining to travel? It'll automatically send them our travel rate. Or if they don't reply at all, it's going to wait for about a few minutes and ask them if they would like for us to call or give them a quote. You can get really deep with this, and this goes on for about a couple of days, getting them through the process. And I would like to show you another example. So let's say someone puts in an inquiry online, but you do want to follow up with them. So you see here, internal notifications, our team members get notified right away. Hey, someone just inquired, please give them a call. It's gonna wait one day, and then it's gonna tell everyone in our CRM to follow up with them or whoever this lead belongs to. It's gonna wait 20 minutes and then send the prospect an email or reminders to book. Hey, did you forget about us? We want to answer any questions. And this email also has a quick video showing other people enjoying the experience. Same thing, it's gonna wait 3 days and it's gonna send a text message. Hey, are you still looking for this date? Do you have any other questions for us? And we'd like to offer you a quick deal, $50 off. Something that won't hurt our profit or bottom line here. And then we're gonna set the event start date for whatever date they said their event is. They're gonna wait 10 days before this event and send them another message. Hey, we still have that offer for you. We're just checking in about it because we haven't heard from you. And then we also have that 10 days away email, and then a 5-day before we repeat the same thing. If they end up booking, they will be exited from this workflow. And that's pretty much it. So you can use these workflows to do your automatic follow-up with your customers and your clients. And this is just one of the businesses that we help out. So that's what a CRM is, guys. And that can be very beneficial for you and help you out. If you're looking to get to know more about our CRM or have any recommendations on any other CRMs, please let me know. We have ours priced. We try to price ours lower than the competition. So if you are interested in that, please let me know. So let's go ahead and get into goal setting so we can map out everything that we need to go ahead and put our 2024 marketing plan into place. We talked about this a little bit before. How much do you plan to make? That's one big question that we have here. How much do you want to make? What service offerings will you primarily provide? And then how many of those service offerings would you need to sell? Then lastly, would you need to have any more people on your team to help you fulfill that goal for the amount of money that you would like to make? All right. And I mentioned yesterday that I want you to keep top of mind having those goals set and knowing how much you can take on and how many people you need around you. That just helps you get to that number a little bit better. And then we also want to make sure that you're tracking growth and keeping track of your tasks and projects, as well as constantly improving on your 3 modes of constant business improvement. And this will, of course, help our marketing plan get into place. So let's get into planning. Everything is tied back to our customer persona and our brand that attracts and is attractive to our customer persona here. Then we have our service offerings and our buyer's journey, so we know what it takes to fulfill each service. We have our content strategy of some of the ideas of the macro and micro content that we plan on putting out to attract our customers. We set our goals. Now let's go ahead and get into the calendar mapping. So planning. What we're going to do today is create a strategic calendar, creating a predefined future with courage by blocking out your calendar and acting as if it will come into fruition. We're telling the future right now, and we're going to walk the walk and talk the talk so that can be what we need it to be. And here is what that details. It is November. We have the rest of December to kind of figure out what we plan on doing. We can adjust, we can maneuver if we need to, but this is something that we do every year in November to prepare for the next year. We already talked about in our planning exercise that we did yesterday about 8 to 10 efforts and initiatives that you would do for your business. And I even said actions, activities, and accomplishments that you would like to achieve in 2024. But I also want you all to keep in mind that I want you to leverage rhythms. What can you do on the same time, on the same day, per week or per month? For example, we have our accountability group the same day every month, and that just keeps it, concise on my calendar, but people just know, so they don't have to guess about that. And then last, we have layered blocks and containers. So just a quick explanation of the layered blocks on your Google Calendar. You can block out your time, but then once those meetings and everything come about, you can put that meeting on top of that longer block. And I don't have an example for that, guys, but if you do have a question about that, I am more than happy to explain or elaborate on that one. So let's go ahead and start with creating our strategic calendar. But I know you're asking why. I feel like marketing is business planning and strategy is a planning activity. Us doing this right now is us being strategic for next year. We know what happened this year. We know what we may need to adjust and change. So why not continue to have that strategy when it comes to planning as well? And we all know that business planning is a fight for the urgent versus the important. If my tire gets flat, that's pretty urgent. That's something that you cannot plan for. But what we're trying to do is making sure that we're taking care of what's important to move and drive our business forward. And then lastly, we cannot rely on trusting our emotions because trusting our emotions is not congruent with being intentional. So for example, if I get sick or if I'm not feeling well, it's easy for me to try to take the day off. But if I already had something on my calendar, I would do anything in my care, if possible, to remedy myself up so that I can go out and perform and do what I have to do for the day. And that's what this planning is all about. It's just having things in place already, of course, and obviously, if there are dire situations, we can go ahead and cancel that and let everyone know. But if you have everything out for you and plan it in place, it'll be harder for you to disappoint yourself or self-sabotage yourself or stop yourself from doing what needs to be done. So let's get straight to it. Y'all did the planning exercise yesterday where we talked about our actions, activities, and accomplishments that we wanted to achieve in 2024. Let's go ahead and go to the vibe board. Let's go to the vibe board and the calendar mapping one. So we're gonna just go ahead and click that and start mapping out some of the things that we took note of yesterday and put it on our calendars here. I'm going to show you mine, and I believe I showed you all before, and it's something that's a work in progress. Like I mentioned before, we still have about 32 more days before the end of the year. So I just have all of my things here kind of on a schedule. So the intentional leaders, I put that on the same day of every month. So I want you all to go ahead and get started putting on your items onto your calendar, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it when we come back after 15 minutes here. And again, if you need to, once you get here, just duplicate it, and then you should be able to edit the new one.
Wait, I might have missed it. I guess how do you duplicate it?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I just wasn't on the screen when you said it.
So when you come out to your canvases, you should see that one, and then you click here and then duplicate, and you should be able to edit that new one. And let me know if that works for you.
That's like a different. Guess I need to like download the app or something to see that stuff on the left.
It's
Or like sign up for free.
Yeah, just sign up for an account. But it should work for you. It's not an app. It's like a website.
Okay.
Do you have an iPad at all that you use?
I'm on my Mac right now.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'll be here. I won't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right. Hey.
Kind of blurry. What is the name of that I know it says calendar. Is that say 2024 calendar template?
Yep. In Discord, this one right here.
Oh, it's in Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the app. I got you.
Okay. Once you go to Discord and click on that link, it should take you right to the Vibe Canvas board. Let me know if you're able to duplicate that and if everything's working.
I'm able to.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back. I do want to discuss really quick sometimes the work sections were a little long, but I even was working on mine some more as well. But I do want to give you all more time to work on it. But I do want to note that this doesn't just include business activities. I do want you to make sure that you're considering, your partners or your family with this calendar as well. If you take a trip every Labor Day, make sure you're kind of blocking that off so that you can kind of prepare for that time away from the business. I even put just now working out on my calendar as well. But I really want to make sure that we're trying to plan all of the aspects of our life. If we're training and competing in a 5K, we would have to train for a certain amount of time. So I don't want you all to disregard that fact either. I do want to revisit the workbook really quick, page 16. I do want you all to consider these days when it comes to your campaigns and your deals that you're offering. These are promotion days. And if you ask me, a lot of these holidays are celebrated so that businesses can make money. And we want to make sure that you do too. So some of the big highlighting dates, of course, is Black Friday. I think President's Day is a pretty decent one, and even Valentine's Day for some of your businesses. I believe that would be a good time to do certain promotional events or promotional deals that make sense for your business. And if you know that a lot of people will be promoting their business and doing discounts and deals, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, make sure that you at least are reaching out to your audience on these dates as well. I know we had a couple of photographers on the last couple of days. I will use every single one of these days to do a photo shoot promo deal for every single one. So I do want you to keep this in mind on your calendar as well, doing what you have to do to prep for, servicing these clients for these events, as well as preparing whatever content or campaigns, whether that be email, SMS, to prepare for that. So I do want to ask, how was adding a couple of things on that calendar? What do you think about that full calendar view?
Asking?
Yeah, I'm asking how do you like the full calendar view, and what are you thinking about it with the work you've done on it so far?
I like it. It's kind of intimidating because it's so big. And get caught up in saying, do I have enough time and this goal? So it's definitely different.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. It can be, when I first looked at it too, was a little overwhelming. But once I start putting things on there, and taking that bigger view, it didn't seem like a long time at all. It was like, how can you fit so much when you're looking at it on this sheet? But I think it's a valuable tool in at least getting our bird's eye view together. For certain things, it's intimidating because we don't have like the days of the week. But on the side here, I put I'll go live on Mondays and Thursday nights. I'll be working out on Sunday and Wednesday nights. But the bigger things that I have on my calendar here is like team meetings, workshops, and things like that. Let's see if I have it up here. I'll share it. The bigger things and the bigger events, I'm making sure that I'm putting on my calendar. I even kind of circle some days that possibly I would want to take a vacation. I know Thanksgiving, I circled those days. I probably would like to, spend time with my family. But this is definitely a work in progress, you guys. So I don't want you to be intimidated by it. Work on it day by day. Some of the things that were also important for me were making sure that I'm planning for each quarter, planning for quarter 2, planning for quarter 3, planning for quarter 4, and then planning for 2025 here at the end of the year. And then, of course, here I put the Back to Business Bootcamp on November 26th through the 28th. I'm excited about that. But yeah, anything and everything that you can put here on the calendar, I need to add a lot more, but I want you to be able to utilize this tool for you and yourself and your business. All right. You have any more questions, or do you feel like you need a little bit more work time?
All right, I don't think I'm going to get it done today.
Oh no, not at all. You still got 30 days to figure it out.
Yeah, at least for me, I was just spending the time more to, I guess, think of the activities and initiatives. I'll probably work on the calendar another time once I get all the activities and initiatives all done.
Okay, absolutely. That makes sense. But this was pretty much the work for today. I will share my screen one more time here. All right. So I just put on here, what did I do with it? Okay. I just put on here the Digital Marketing Essentials Workbook for you all to download. I'm gonna keep it on here for about 3 days. Then I want to delete it because I don't want any new viewers to come on and be able to access that. I appreciate you all for participating and being involved. So I wanted to offer that to you guys for you to just download. Then I just added a new section here. I have Meet with Intellect Media Co. or Meet with Me. We have a few different meeting types for you. We have, and this is all free, so feel free to take advantage once you do get it. Kind of your content strategy, your content plan, as well as your calendar together. We have a CRM introduction meeting. If you were interested in learning more about that, we have a content creation strategy meeting, and then we have a marketing plan meeting. So feel free to book those. I'll be adding those in here soon for you all to kind of talk to me about some of the things that you came up with during this boot camp, as well as outside of it. throughout your planning. And these meetings will be available, throughout time, so it won't end by the end of the year. You can always just come back and schedule a meeting with us. And again, here I do want to reiterate some of the planning that we did on my calendar already. I've already put onto a worksheet. We have intentional leaders meetings, our marketing master classes. So if any of those pertains to your business, feel free to join us. We also have the Back to Business Bootcamp here, and then some photography and podcast workshops. Again, this is just our starting place for some of the initiatives, events, actions, and accomplishments that we want to achieve. So check that out there. If you're interested in the Intentional Leaders Group, a safe space for thought leaders and business owners, filled with group accountability and networking. Kind of wanted to be like a BNI or just those other networking groups. And then if you want to sign up for the Back to Business Bootcamp, please do so here. We already have that set up. And then in day 3, I'm going to add it right now since we're here. I would like for you all to please fill out this survey for me. Just letting me know if this pertained to your business, if this was helpful for you, and it can be anonymous, okay? And it does have some qualifying questions to see what types of business I should be targeting for the future. So if you can, please fill out that quick survey here. I'm gonna ask just a couple of fast questions. It shouldn't take long at all. But let me get back out here, and that's in day 3. Please, if you can, do that end of event survey. I'm gonna come back here. But yes, guys, that's pretty much it. I wanted to leave the rest of the time for you all to work on what means the most for your business in 2024. I'm gonna stay on for a moment until 10:40. If you have any questions about any of the days, let me know. If you want me to kind of quickly go through the slides of the days you missed or anything like that, please let me know, and I'll be here for the next 30 minutes or so, and feel free to leave if you're all set. But thank you all again for coming to another day of the Back to Business Bootcamp, and I hope to see you all next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I guess if you could do a quick summary of what you went over yesterday. I did plan to look through the video, but
Okay. 1 second, let me pull it up. Alright. Okay, let me pull it up 1 second. Okay, that was today. Okay, yesterday we talked more about the buyer's journey, letting us know that we have to map it all out. And within that buyer's journey, we have to take account of how the customers discover us, how we service the client.
are you showing something right now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
All right, can you see now? Okay, perfect. So yesterday we talked about the buyer's journey and how we map everything out. We want to do it from start to finish, from the point of where the customer discovers us and how they discovers us, how we service the client, and what we do during that moment as well as after. So our clients have a decision-making process. They have to be aware and know who we are. They have to consider working with us by us gaining their interest, and then they make a decision by taking the next steps, whether that is filling out a form, commenting, DMing. That's how you know they're ready to make it to those next steps. So what we did yesterday was the PB&J exercise. And we have a vibe board for that one, where you're able to pretty much put in place, you have to pack all of the equipment. You maybe have to do a discovery call during and after. So our activity was yesterday, how do you make a peanut butter jelly sandwich from start to finish? And we had a good example where, he didn't forget to grab the knife. He didn't forget to grab the bread and the jelly. And pretty much we wanted you to map out every step of that one service, because it's essential to creating those checklists and SOPs, those standard operating procedures, and it's also essential in growing the business, because if you do have that buyer's journey chart together, you are easily able to hire without as much training. The training becomes easier because you already have the checklist, SOPs, and the buyer's journey together. And then you're also able to constantly improve what you have going on, but because you can check out the list and see what is working and what is not. Give me 1 second here. Mr. Hayes actually did the PB&J sheet really well. And he talked about everything that he needed to do from start to finish. One thing that I would probably, this is fine for the servicing of the client. They do the client briefing, the research, sketching and designing, the client presentation, revisions, finalizations, brand guidelines, the follow-up, and invoicing and payment, and post-project review. So he has everything that he needs. And the good thing about that is that after a certain period of time, you're figuring out what works, what doesn't work. If you need to add something in at any point, or if you need to even revise the order, just having this somewhere where you can see it, make sure that your team members does everything the way that you want it to be done, as well as making sure that even for you as yourself, you're being consistent with all of your clients and making sure you're doing the same thing. So that was the work section that we did there. You have a question?
No.
Okay. Okay. And then we talked about growing the business and the 3 modes of continuous growth. And I related it to basketball because I played basketball at UW Milwaukee. And some of the 3 modes are the fan favorites, increasing IQ, and performing. And what that means for business, the fan favorites are using resources solely for generating revenue. And that includes paid ads, branded content, and marketing development. Increasing IQ means using resources to gain new resources to do your job better and easier. And that may include partnering, training, infrastructure development, purchasing assets or equipment, as well as structuring your business. And then lastly is game day. Performing is all about using resources to solidify what you have and expand. And that includes improving your client experience, hiring to support projects, onboarding, your onboarding experience, as well as internal operations, ultimately lowering your churn and keeping your clients for longer. Now, we also talked about how your attention is the most valuable thing that you have, and what you pay attention to or what you focus on is important within a business when it comes to growing the business. So we talked about capacity, what can you take on, how many jobs can you do for a certain amount of time, and I also wanted to make it important that we assess how long it would take an employee or a helper to do the same job. Because for you, it may take 15, maybe 30 minutes to set up your DJ equipment, but for someone who doesn't have that much experience, they may take about an hour or an hour 15 to set up. And you may even need to provide them with a checklist of equipment that you need. So also have here planning, and that includes project management, quarterly goals, and all this does is make sure that you are working on the same accord as well as your team all have one common goal. And then lastly, hiring. That's not last, but hiring, duplicating your time, efforts, and energy, completing the same task more efficiently, and then the ability to serve more customers. And you can do that with those SOPs and having that brand guideline or that buyer's journey in place for you to, just move over if you need to. Then we have management. As a business owner, of course, to grow the business, you have to manage your time, your customers, your finances, as well as your employees and team members. And one good point I mentioned somewhere in here is just being involved with your team members, doing something fun with them to keep them engaged and a part of the business's mission. And this is what I talked about today. When growing your business, it's important to know how much you can take on and how many people you need around you so that you can reach your goals. And then how to keep track of those tasks and projects and constantly improving on those three modes, those fan favorites, the increasing IQ and performing so you can continue to track and grow your business. And this at the end helps the marketing plan kind of take off because everything is in order. You already know everything that is going on. So the last activity for yesterday, the last two activities was the content strategy. Let me go and show you that one. All right, it's at the end. So content strategy is on page 17 and 18 of the workbook. And basically the idea is, okay, we know our customer. So how can we figure out what kind of content do they watch, do they consume? So macro content is larger pieces of content, including keynotes, blogs, slide decks, podcasts, YouTube videos, newsletters, which you can reduce, minimize, edit, cut up to create micro content. And that includes tweets, LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, YouTube and IG Reels, TikTok videos, and Instagram and Facebook stories. So it has a couple of questions on what outcome are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to get them to book? Are we trying to get them to follow us, join our email newsletter? And what kind of content can help us reach that? What kind of channels are they consuming, our ideal customer? And then what kind of micro content channels? So the idea here is to really get into the mind of your customer and figure out what kind of large pieces of content are they consuming? What kind of large pieces of content can we create that's related to our business? And then how can we repurpose that and use that again with our micro content here? So the purpose of creating a content at all is to get people to take the next step or to do something afterwards. So I will always suggest and recommend having a call to action. What do you want them to do next? What's the next steps? Do you want them to like it? Do you want them to share it? Do you want them to DM you a certain word? And then after that, how will you continue to engage them? Will you comment back to them? Everyone who liked, will you go on their page and like a couple of photos? How will you continue to interact with them within your post that you're making? Will you ask a question in your post to get them to comment in the comments? And that's what we mean here by engage. And then lastly, how will you track your progress? Are you going to be looking at the YouTube subscriber count? Are you going to be looking at the amount of shares that you have on Facebook? Or are you looking at how many impressions that you get on your social media account? Okay, and then our last page our last activity that we worked on yesterday was the planning activity on page 14 to ideate some actions, activities, and achievements that you would like to accomplish in 2024. We use the content strategy as well as these actions, activities, and achievements to kind of figure out what are some things and initiatives that we should be doing in 2024 that aligns with our client, our service offerings, so that we can create content around those action, activities, and achievements. And that leads us to today, where we had our goals in place. We figured out how many of a certain service that we needed to do to reach our goals, and then we just put everything on the calendar, making sure that everything ties in. So I hope that today we was really able to put all those building blocks together so that you have a really good and clear idea on your marketing plan and your plan for success for next year. You want me to step back at any part at all?
No, that was definitely a pretty good rundown. If anything, I just gotta start looking through those workbook pages, see if I can
Okay.
get those filled out, and then
All right.
and if I have any questions, yeah, I guess I'd probably just reach back out to you or maybe look at the video in more depth before asking you.
Okay. Okay. But that sounds good. Well, I will continue to be here until about 10:40, and then we can go ahead and close out.
I'll probably be hopping off, gonna get ready for a work meeting, but definitely appreciate it.
All
Uh,
right. Well, thank you.
I am interested in those meetings that you mentioned about like the CRM promotion and marketing. Is that something where I just message that place in Discord, or are you going to be
Ye-
sending out those dates or something?
Yeah, you could message me, but I will be having those items here listed in Discord here soon. It should be right under resources
Hmm.
and meet with us, and I'll put it in here shortly.
Okay, perfect.
All
I'll wait
right.
for that then.
Well, thank you for joining us this year.
No problem. Thank you very much, Caitlin.
All right.
And y'all have a good rest of the day. Y'all take care.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
But
You got any questions, Mr. Hayes?
you still recording? Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording. Maybe I could stop it. Let me stop the live.